Hi Keshi, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Purna. I am Keshi Jain, and thank you for calling me. It's really a very big step for me. And also, yeah, I'm working. I have 1.5 years of experience in automobile industry, so I won't say I'm an expert, but I do know what's happening in the ground reality of the automobile industry in India. So apart from that, I've done my education from CUEP, and yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. So basically, Keshi, the first question I'd like to discuss is you come from mechanical background, right?
Mhm.
What are the challenges that you faced while you're in the college? Because this is not something that you guys all be doing by sitting in a fancy air conditioned. I mean, this computer labs or something like that. You need to go and do a lot of stuff outside. Uh, how did you felt that while you're in the college?
When I talk about my college experience, my first 2 years were actually online. So I'll tell you my experience. First two years were online because of COVID. So we did not sadly do anything practical as such. But when it comes to hard, nothing is hard. Like it's actually fun when you do things on a more of a practical scale. It's actually more easier, it's actually more fun to learn. So, and it's never hard, nothing is never hard.
Because
So
I was asking this question is like when I was in my college, we only had one girl in the mechanical department in our parallel. So right. So in general, can we? Is that true that girls will be more or less compared to men in the automobile industry and whatever you are doing right now?
the reason is because they know the kind of jobs that you get. So those kind of jobs are specifically defined such that it's very hard for a girl to do it. But it's not like that. Nowadays, you have girls coming in every field. In fact, girls are doing much better than guys actually. So in my class, there were actually in total, my girls, there were around more than 30, 35 people or something, and there was never difference between us or them. So yeah, apart from that, everything was same. There was nothing different that we were doing different or they were doing anything different.
Perfect. Yeah. So, right, Kashi, one thing we always keep hearing from a lot of people on the internet, YouTube, maybe we can save a lot of money through having an electric vehicle. Recently, I've also saw a tweet by Mr. Bhavish Agarwal saying that our their customers are saving a lot of money and all. How far is that really true? And once if the battery had some issue, so we'll obviously need to spend a lot of money. How can we see that? And what do you think about this? Having an EV actually saves a lot of money. How do you see that?
So when you say EV saving a lot of money, I don't see how you are saving money by building EVs. So let's take a difference between a simple petrol engine car and a EV car. The whole infrastructure of a car is more or less the same. Only difference between them is the engine. Like over here, you have battery, and over there, you have engine. So only for manufacturing of engine and manufacturing of EVs are going to be different. But when you're manufacturing EVs, you are bringing in the rare earth metals, and then you're manufacturing it from all scratch. So I don't see how you're saving money. So the way you are going to be saving money is through because government has given some subsidiaries such that it has become a little bit more like a mandatory thing for companies to work on EVs. Like government are pushing to work on EVs. They are giving tax benefits. So
Okay.
only through that, I think EVs are going to get more friendly, cost friendly. But apart from that, on a process level, I don't think there's any difference.
Yeah. So another question would be Kashi around EVs. Right now in India, there are few electric vehicle companies. And as you know that the heart of the electric vehicle is battery. So if we can bring that battery cost down, we can make that affordable, right? Right now, compared to Indian battery prices, I mean, in a whole EV prices, is there any chance that we can get an electric vehicle in another country for more cheaper price than what we are having right now in India? For example, iPhone here costs a lot, right? And when we compare to the other countries, US or Switzerland, something like that. So, in the same way, right now, are there any countries that's producing an electric vehicle with cheaper price than what we are having right now? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm not sure how much percentage cheaper they're selling their cars, EV cars. But I know for sure that in, for example, China, almost more or less, almost half of the cars that's there in their market are EVs now. So it just means that their EVs has become more cheaper. So in India, we don't mine our own rare earth metals, right? So that's the reason why there are tax in between. So because of that, the prices go high. But if, for example, we start mining in India itself and the whole production comes out from our Indian subland, then definitely the EVs will get cheaper. But as of now, like for example, the cheapest EV, they're probably, I'm just giving you a rough estimation, 13 lakhs, a good EV, um, around that much. Like this might be the cheapest, and in compared to petrol, it might be nine or ten minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum, like around that much. Like you're getting in the same performance of engine, you're getting petrol much cheaper than EVs. The only reason people are going to buy EVs is because future there are tax benefits and everything, and some people are economically, they want to save economy, green energy and everything. That's the only reason why people are buying EVs.
Yeah.
But in India, right now we don't have that infrastructure, that type of performance, the type of road infrastructure. So that's why people, it's little hard to adapt. But definitely when it gets cheaper, which will definitely, it will take time, but it will, people will definitely start buying.
We are extracting a lot of petrol, diesel, and these things since maybe 100 years. Okay, 100 or 150 years, maybe. Is there any probability that at some point of time in the future we may lack these oils? Can we assume that? Is there any probability for
Yes.
that?
Yes, of course. There is probably in the future, there is going to come a time when the whole fuel, everything goes out. In India, we are not producing our own fuel. We're importing it from Russia and from other countries. So India is again very heavily dependent on other countries when it comes to that. So to oppose, to counter all of these things, we are working on EVs, but we're also working on flexi fuel, which means from with your gasoline, you're having 20 to 80% of ethanol, alcohol in it. So this is pretty green energy, and this is much more easier to get it in India. So these things are coming up.
We were talking about rare earth metals, like we were exporting them, sorry, importing them from other countries like China. If a 10th class student or an intermediate guy wants to know what are rare earth metals, uh, how that uh, play a role in an EV, how you would just explain that?
So, if you have ever taken out a battery, a simple battery, you will see that it is nothing but cathode, anode, and there is some fluid, there's something, there's some chemical that's inside that that battery to work, right? So, that chemicals are nothing. You have uranium, you have so many chemicals, you have lithium. Lithium are the most useful one for our EVs. So these rare earth metals, you don't get it everywhere. They come at a very specific, like there's special mining for it. And yeah, so these, for example, lithium, uranium, and all of these chemicals, they mine that, they make their batteries out of it, and then they put it in their in our cars.
Yeah, right, Kashi. And now let's get to the actual discussion. Um, do you think that EVs will stop pollution 100%? I mean, is that a myth that's already there in the today's world? What do you say about that?
I believe that no, um, EVs are not going to stop pollution. So, because when you talk about what is causing pollution, one is first manufacturing part. While the process of manufacturing in the plant, you are causing a lot of pollution itself. One part is that. Second part is when you're running a car. So the amount of pollution that's coming out of it. So yes, from this part, when the car is in running position, like for example, when someone has already purchased a car, then yes, you are saving a lot of, you are saving the environment from it. But again, for this, you're also mining rare earth metals, and this again causes a lot of pollution. So if you say that the amount of pollution that you are creating in mining is like, you know, it's like covering up for the gain of green energy while driving a car for EVs. So it's not causing any benefit as such. You're still causing a lot of pollution while the production of an EV.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you one interesting thing. So there's this thing called cafe chart. So every country has their cafe chart.
Mhm.
um, Cafe chart is nothing but it means corporate average fuel efficiency. So there's this cafe chart. So on y-axis, it's the amount of CO2 that's emitting, and on x-axis, it's the curb weight. Curb weight is nothing but the weight of a car. So if you see that there's a linear graph, and you can see that it's a linear increasing graph. There's one red line and there's one blue line. So this is the amount, like when a line is like beyond, it's above a certain line, it means that this amount of CO2 is getting emitted. And when you go more downwards, it means that your CO2 is, you're like restricting the amount of CO2 that's going to be emitted from your car. So this cafe is a target that is set by every company to calculate the amount of CO2 that you're going to emit. So for example, if I talk about any automobile company, there's a specific CO2 emission amount that you're supposed to emit. Otherwise, you'll get a penalty. And I'm not sure what kind of penalty you have. If I'm not wrong, there's a royalty in every car that you're selling. So there's some royalty that a company has to give. If your if your vehicle is above the cafe line, then there's some penalty that you have to give. So what is happening that the government is pushing this cafe line more downwards. That means it's restricting companies to release more CO2. So that's why it's becoming harder for every company to that's why companies government is pushing for EVs, because they know that these cafe norms are becoming most restrictive. So that's why if you talk about any company, like for example Tata or anyone, the reason why they're bringing up EVs is because they don't want to give a penalty in their cars.
Yeah,
uh, so that is only reason why in India people are actually, I mean, automobile industry is making EVs. It's because government is pushing to build EVs. So I'll just give you a brief. So first it's diesel. Diesel gives most amount of pollution. Then it's petrol. Then it's CNG. Then it's flexi fuel, and then it's EVs. So
yeah.
this is
Correct.
line, like when you go on the EV side, it's becoming more and more green,
Yeah.
green energy. Diesel gives a lot of pollutants to the air. So probably when you see any black smoke coming out, that's probably diesel car. So
Yeah.
that's why many companies are also stopping their diesel production of cars.
While a person is using a petrol vehicle, what are the major pollutants that will be coming out of that? What are they basically?
It's CO2, NO2, NOx. All of these are very bad components of pollution. Yeah,
So what,
and they're very particles.
okay, what
Hmm.
comes out from the EV vehicles then?
In EVs, you don't have any. So how does EV work? Engine is the one, like an engine, you have piston that's moving up and down, and that's causing you energy, and through that your wheels are moving. But in EVs, you have motors. That's like batteries are giving you energy, and you have motors such that it's running the wheels. So as such, you don't have any fuel injector that's coming out of it, right? So from EVs, that's the reason why EVs are called more greener. It's because nothing is coming getting out of it, no, nothing is emitting there.
Kesha, I'd like to know what's the biggest thing that's happening around EVs in the entire world. I mean, what's the biggest? What might be the biggest thing in the next few years around EVs?
Hmm. So, when we talk about EVs are not the biggest, breakthrough that has happened. It's actually autonomous vehicle that's actually a big breakthrough. So, when I talk about autonomous vehicle, examples like Tesla, BYD, and there are a lot of other models as well. Like, for example, models from Google. I think Waymo. All of these comes into picture. They are nothing but they are autonomous vehicle such that you don't need any driver to drive cars. So for this, you call them as ADA system, Advanced Driver Assistance System, and there are 5 levels to it. So the fifth level is the most highest form, such that you don't need any driver assistant for driving. So in India, we are currently in ADAS 2 plus 1, such that you need a driver that's it has to drive the car, but for some things the car would take control, like for example anti-braking system. When you see that suddenly there's a car that's between you, or there's suddenly some object that suddenly comes in between you, the car would automatically stop. And also when it comes to traffic, it will keep in mind that you have to maintain such amount of distance with your above and below cars. So these are few things. I mean, India could advance to a more higher form of ADAS system, but we just don't have that kind of road infrastructure yet to provide that kind of
Yeah.
technology. But otherwise, India is very capable. India has a very good supply chain, and overall, India's dealers, suppliers are very strong. Yeah.
Keshi, one thing I always see whenever I open the Twitter account, the vehicles are burning. They are catching fire here and there. What would be the biggest reason for an EV vehicle getting caught by fire? What's the science behind that?
Yeah. So the biggest issue is that, like, at the end, this is India, right? We have a certain amount of temperature that exceeds in some states and in the other states. So I think, for example, Ola, they had acquired some foreign company, and I think they were using their technology. I'm not for
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sure if this is for right, but I think this is the case. And now they build their batteries, but they are not accustomed to India's climate. And in India you get like the temperature exceeds even above 40 degrees, 40 Celsius. So because of that, due to extreme heating, at the end batteries are nothing but they're chemicals. They have fusion, all of those things in them, and this causing them to cause fire.
Yeah. So how hard is to make an electric vehicle by our own, Keshi?
By our own.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you talk about own, first of
For
all, what
example,
all things you need?
if I bought a battery from Amazon, from from a few particles, I mean, sorry, parts, whatever that I need to assemble to make correct
Okay.
bike shape or scooter shape, and few electric wires to connect the battery and systems. If I do some research, of course with the help of AI recommendations and all, if I aim or wish to do that by my own, how much it would cost, and is that really possible?
Of course, it's if we talk about hypothetically, you have everything, you have the whole unit, you have the whole supply. The only thing that comes up is assembly. So assembly is not actually hard. You can assemble it from any manufacturing automobile and manufacturing unit. So the whole part comes under R&D, that how a specific company is making their batteries different and how they're positioning themselves in the market. So is it because of branding, is it because they have done their R&D and the performance is actually good? So if for example a startup is actually working on it, because it's a startup, they have to bring a very big differentiator that why their EVs are better than the competitor. It does not really have to be only about performance. It could also be because that their car is more stylish, or they are saving more energy, or their EVs are more cheaper. In India is a very price sensitive market. So, and in India, like India has a population of 1.4 billion people, right? And can you imagine how many people actually have a car? Like, do you have any idea the percentage amount people actually have a car?
No.
It's only 5%, 5% or more, max to max 10%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in India, because
Yeah.
if you have seen the Indus Valley report, um, most of the Indians, they come under sub African region. So almost I think 50% people have lower income. They don't earn much, and they are not the market to target for cars. Second is Mexico. Um, I think they are like 30, 20 to 30%, and they are like 200 to 300 million people, 200 to 300 million Indians. And then is the top 10%, which are actually companies are actually focusing on those people to buy cars. So when we also talk about the cheapest car in India, they are still the ones that are the top 10% of India. So already the market in India is like we see that our population is so big, but when it comes to the market that's there, it's of course not as much as you see. Uh, like it's not linear with the population, but yes, definitely, because in future, you see that many people are coming more under middle class income. So yes, the amount of market is increasing, so EV adoption is going to be more faster, everything is going to be more faster, more adoption. So that's why startups are coming. They know that okay, there is a market that's coming up. So how do we differentiate? So now you know that Europe India trade, recent news. So now probably we're going to have some Europe cars as well in India. Otherwise, there was a lot of tax that used to come in every Europe car, right? A lot of Indian companies are exporting a lot of their vehicles. They have started exporting a lot of their vehicles to Europe, Latin America, Asia, East Asia, and even Gulf countries. And even right now, um, after this trade deal, it's not an opportunity for Europe, but it's also an opportunity for Indians to showcase our capabilities in Europe. And India has a very big, very bright automobile future ahead, because when it comes to, okay, if we keep the R&D aside, when it comes to manufacturing, our supply chain, our manufacturing, these things are very strong. And this is how we can be really a differentiator in the European market as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
So in conclusion, Keshi, I've understood something like EVs are not pure solution for saving the humanity from the pollution, especially in cities like Delhi. So, is there
Mhm.
anything else you'd like to add as the final statement about how EVs are really safe for the humanity in terms of pollution controlling and all? Yeah.
I think in future EVs are not the solution for pollution. I think there has to be, I think when it comes to this, I support more of public transport. I think
Yeah.
definitely EVs will contribute to saving the environment, but it won't be long when I think a new technology would come, because this won't be enough to save the environment.
True. Right, Keshi. So, thank you so much, Keshi. It's wonderful talking to you, discussing how the EVs are saving the pollution causing by the vehicles at some level. Thank you so much. It's really nice to have